Hello, I'm Ryan Malyar, and you're watching WMCT-TV, local television and stories right here in Marlborough, Massachusetts. So if you've driven through the city lately, you might have noticed some crazy construction happening right in front of Marlborough Public Library. All that seems to stand at the moment is a tiny little dollhouse in the front known as the Carnegie Building. But very soon you will notice a new structure popping up around the library as it is rebuilt into a truly exceptional gem that the Marlborough community will be proud of for years and years to come. Some wonderful folks are in the studio with me today to tell us more. To my right, I have Margaret Cardello, who is the library director, Nina Bloomquist, who is the Capital Campaign Chair of the Marlborough Public Library Foundation, and Nina is also a library trustee. Yep. And then I have Bill Keels, who is the president of the Marlborough Public Library Foundation. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to start off with Margaret, and maybe you could tell me in a nutshell a little history of having a library in Marlborough in the first place. I think it started first in the town hall, and maybe there was some arson along the way and things went up in flames. Tell me a little bit of what's happened here.
Well, it was first in town hall, and then the history is that the library quickly outgrew its space. And Mr. Carnegie, our wonderful hero, Andrew Carnegie, was offering grants to libraries, and people from Marlborough, actually one of the families that's donated to our project, the Morse family, he was mayor at the time. He went to New York to see Mr. Carnegie and tried a couple of times, but was finally able to speak with Mr. Carnegie's secretary, who gave Marlborough the princely sum of $30,000
well, that must have been a lot at the time.
I think it was, to build the library. And in the 60s, there was a fire, and that's when the addition that just came down was built.
That was built in 69, 70, right?
Right, 69, 70. And that's the addition that just came down, and we outgrew that space, and we're so looking forward to our new space, which is under construction.
So that's why this front section is known as the Carnegie Building, right?
It is. It's known as the Carnegie Building. Again, it was built in 1904. It's historic, it's lovely, it's special, and the design will really showcase the Carnegie. Everything that's new will be behind it and really set off the Carnegie Building. So people who drive down Main Street will see lovely views of both sides of the Carnegie Building.
And this new construction is going to reveal some parts of this building that haven't been seen in a very long time.
It is. There are actually fireplaces in the Carnegie rooms, the two Carnegie rooms on the main floor, that have been uncovered and will remain uncovered in our design. And a lot of the terracotta on the outside will be worked on so that it's sparkling and new, and a lot of work will be done to the Carnegie itself, including the restoration of the Palladian, the large Palladian window on the east side of the building that was taken down when the addition was put on. So there's a lot to look forward to with the Carnegie itself.
Now, I'm wondering if you could speak a little bit about how, even just in your time at the Marlborough Public Library, the services and the atmosphere and just the idea of what a library provides to a community has changed.
The library has undergone tremendous change. I like to say, when I first came to Marlborough, everybody wanted to talk to me about parking. There are not enough spaces, and how do I park? And actually, where is the library? But over time, people wanted to talk to me about the services and the programs that the library was offering. So it was a definite shift. People were more accustomed to what we were doing, how we were functioning. People were not just coming for borrowing things, they were coming for programs, community events. In the space that we had, our motto has been, we do the best with what we have, and we want to do so much more, and this new building will allow us to do just that.
Wonderful. Now, Nina and Bill, it's a rare breed that takes on a position for a nonprofit or to head up any sort of volunteer committee. Can you both speak about how you got involved with the library to begin with and what that means to you?
Okay. Well, I first got involved with the library, well, as a patron. I was there all the time with my children and then for my husband and me. And a friend said that there was a vacancy on the trustees. And I said, well, I would love to do that. So I joined as a trustee. And then as we prepared to build a new library, a foundation was created to raise funds specifically for a new library. And I said, yep, I'm on board for that too.
Absolutely. How about you, Bill?
I am a 25-year resident of Marlborough. I work in Marlborough, and the company that I work for, Marlborough, said, Bill, please go to the committee meeting and sit in and participate. At that point on, I was hooked. Being an educator myself, I so appreciate libraries. Growing up in New York City, you can go 3 blocks in any direction, and there's a library. And it was personal for me because I believe that everyone should have access to knowledge and the resources of the library. So it just seemed like that right fit. And I'm glad to this day to be a part of the committee.
Now, you've served in other positions as well, treasurer, I believe, and
Yes.
what's it like taking on president?
It was a very honorable opportunity to have. It was something I wasn't too sure at first, how would I do as a president? But I found that just having the greatest committee ever makes it so easy. And we work so well together, and we all have that same goal, that same vision. And that's what really makes it a special place to be.
That's what always makes it easier, a unified vision. And I can really tell just from our brief conversation already how important this is to you, but not only you, to the whole community. And you've got a catchphrase, put it out there.
Well, I like to say that people don't like the library. They love the library. They have a deep personal connection with the library, whether it's from their childhood or from bringing their children to the library. People love the library, and they say it all the time.
Now, the old library, it probably could have stood up for a few more years. Why are we updating the library in 2022?
Well, as Nina said, we did a survey and we asked a lot of questions about what people would like in their library, and we always get the same kind of core responses. One is more meeting spaces, more program spaces, more parking spaces, and just more community space. So with all that information in mind, we know what we can do with a bigger facility. We are so anxious to...
Well, tell us more. What can we do with this big facility? How are we going to put it to use?
We will have close to 10 different meeting spaces. We'll have small rooms for tutoring and small meetings. We'll have medium-sized meeting rooms for book groups and programs, and we'll have our local history space, which is part of the design. We can have meetings in there. But the real gem is the community meeting space, which will see 200 people. And we are just excited about the possibilities of all that we can do with that space, the concerts, the plays, the lectures, the talks, the community events.
Oh, I've already told you that we're jumping in there. If we want to have a live studio audience for a WMCT production, say it on camera so I've got it in there.
We'd love to have you any time. We really would. And what we're doing with all the spaces, they're all going to be flexible so that nothing's built in, so that, 10 years from now, when the world has changed, and we know that it will, we'll adapt to that change and we won't be locked into anything.
And I'm looking at this fact sheet here, and it's really incredible what you hope to achieve. More than doubling the amount of public computers that are going to be there, taking the number of community meeting rooms from 92 seats to 208 seats, and allowing handicap accessibility. There's so many wonderful things. Are there any other benefits here that I'm missing?
Well, Margaret had talked about once about transparency. The new building is going to have so many windows, so it's it's just going to be so open to the community for them to see what's going on there. And I think in this day and age, that's kind of a buzzword, but I think it's really going to be true of our new library. It's just big windows, gorgeous open spaces, very flexible, as Margaret had mentioned before, and LEED certified. We're going to have silver certification, right? So.
Now, Bill, you had said that the bank sent you over to become a part of this project. Tell me a little bit more about what's going on here.
Main Street Bank is a very big supporter of the library and the initiative. And they knew that with my love of education, it made perfect sense to send me over to help support with grant writing and any other way that I can help in any capacity. So, of course, it was a perfect opportunity for me to get involved in an important community event. And loving libraries, appreciating the knowledge, and I can't tell you how many times I would take my daughter down to read the next adventure of Winnie the Pooh. I wanted to give back to the city. And certainly Main Street Bank has always given me a great career, and I wanted to give back to that capacity. So it was a perfect opportunity.
Now, everyone is drawn to some particular aspect of this new library project for one reason or another, whether it's the children's room. I'm really excited about this large auditorium space. What gets you excited, Bill?
I think what gets me excited is, number one, the capacity to have more individuals that can go to the library and take advantage of resources. We're also looking at a shifting change in the workforce, people working remotely. This is an opportunity that with more space, they could come to the library, take advantage of resources, and just have a place where they can quietly work.
Right. Why would you invest in a WeWork space or one of those big places and have to rent it out if you could possibly take advantage of your local library? That's a great idea. In terms of the fundraising that's going on here, are there opportunities for any naming to have a room in your honor?
There are. We actually have a number of spaces available, from tutoring rooms to the large meeting rooms. Trying to think, the elevator is available,
Great.
which reminds where our handicapped access is going to be so wonderful. So that, yes, we have many naming opportunities available, and some of them have already been taken in creative ways. Margaret mentioned the Ossing family. All the 4 brothers got together to name a room in honor of their parents. And then we've had some of the community organizations. The Rotary Club has named a room, and the Main Street Bank has the Children's Library.
Yes.
The St. Mary's has done the History Room. Right. But then there have been individual families who've done a tutoring room, and so there are many naming opportunities that are still left, and if people want to form a group to do it or do it on their own, that would be wonderful.
And can you speak a little bit more about all the new technology that's going to come in here? It's very exciting.
One of the things that was important to us is to have public computers available for people that don't have them, but also to support the people who want to bring their own devices in. So a robust wireless network and space for people to work is really essential to the design of any library, especially to ours. And as Nina said, we plan on makerspace, technology, 3D printers, and all of that will be on carts so that we will not have one room that's devoted into it. We can use all of our rooms to support those activities. So technology, smart boards in our meeting room so that collaborative spaces are, so there's more collaborative spaces in the library. So all those technologies will really allow us to ramp up to the next level, which we were not able to do in our building, but we look forward to offering in our new facility.
And people think of a library, bookshelves after bookshelf after bookshelf. There is so much more that a library gives individuals access to at their fingertips, even on their phone. Can you talk about some of those digital resources that people could take advantage of even right now?
Right. We have a number of databases that people can search. Consumer Reports, for example. Anyone that's buying anything should check Consumer Reports to see what they should buy, whether it's a car or a refrigerator, or a slow cooker, or whatever they want to buy. We also have access to newspapers on our website. And we have a small collection of databases, but we are going to be growing it so that we can provide more to people.
Bill, I know that a lot of land has been purchased, and there's going to be some big improvements for parking. Do you think maybe you could talk about some of that?
Yes, I think it's going to be wonderful that we have more parking spaces.
Yes, I think everyone agrees with that.
Yes, it's a very big convenience factor because when you have children, you don't want to be parking far away. You want to know you can come to the library and have ample space to park and have accessibility to the library. And as we talked about with improvement for handicap access, the library is a free resource for everybody.
Everybody.
Right.
That's right.
We'll also have electric charging stations. We talked about that today at our construction meeting, having electric charging stations for electric vehicles, which may become popular in the next years, and we want to be ready if they do.
You have to anticipate anything.
Right.
And I think that's one of the really great things about this project is that it is as future-proof as we can get right now.
Exactly.
You're not building a library based on a 1990s model. You're basing it off of a library of the future,
Right.
and anticipating room for growth in terms of technology and everything that could go into it. Is that right?
Well, you know, the last addition to the library, as we talked about, was done back in 1970, so 50 years ago. So when we were looking ahead to this library, we're building this library for the next 50 some years. And when I do talk to people about donating, I say, you know, you're not donating for your kids, you know, you could be, but, you know, thinking about the future of the city, if you're donating to this cause, you're donating to the future of Marlborough, to future generations. And I think that's a really important thing to do. Support our city and help it grow.
And we often say that it's the opportunity of a lifetime, and while that may sound as though we're overreaching, we're not. We're not doing this again for a very long time, and Nina's right. It will stay, and it will grow, and it will change over the decades to come.
Now I have a question here from our WMCT-TV intern, Julia Chamberlain, who wrote, I spent a good amount of time at the public library as a child because of the children's programs. Are they planning on expanding the children's area or expanding the range of programs they have in that place?
Oh, our children's department is going to be awesome.
I saw some renderings, and it is going to be so colorful and special.
It is. And one of the things we wanted was a special place just for preschoolers, so they can make all the darn noise they want and
just a little insulation in those walls
right.
around that one.
Get so excited about being at the library, and that space actually faces West Main Street, so people driving by will be able to see all of the little children playing and enjoying the space. We have a children's program room that will be the center of our programming, and one of our families in Marlborough, the Ossing family, they have donated funds to name that in honor of their parents. Our teen area will have its own program room for teen programs and space to hang out, space to study, do their homework. So every space really will have a purpose, but that purpose will be flexible so that as the times change, the space will change.
And there's a cafe too?
There is a cafe.
I did my research.
Yes, you did. And the nice thing about the cafe is it's a place where people can take a phone call, and we also plan to have an art exhibit, an art gallery in it so that local artists can display their works in the cafe. And it's just really casual space where people could have a cup of coffee, meet up with someone, or take a phone call, as I said.
Right. Nina, maybe you can talk about what goals we have that still need to be met in terms of fundraising.
Okay. So we set an ambitious goal of $2 million. to supplement the grant and what the city has promised. And we are halfway there. We have raised $1 million, which even that is kind of, we're pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's great. But I did a little researching today and kind of checked how many donors we have and our average donation. And really, we have such a range of donations, you know, from $25 to $250,000. And we have donors like Main Street Bank.
Yes.
And businesses like Joy Den Jewelers on Main Street and the Vin Bin. And then we have, you know, a lot of private citizens. So we have a lot of donors, but we need a lot more.
Well, maybe this would be the chance that you could talk right into this camera right here,
Sure, okay.
and let people know how they can donate, and if they have
Sure.
a connection to a local business or organization that might have some funds.
Okay, well, yes, so it's the Marlborough Public Library Foundation, MPLF. We take donations of all kinds, cash, checks, electronic funds transfers, stock transfers, and we are, any help is wonderful. You can contact us at the library, marlpublibfoundation.com, I believe. It's kind of cumbersome, but you
We'll
could
pop
also...
it up on the screen.
Yeah, you can also call the library to find out how to donate, and we'd be just very happy.
Awesome. So part of the money that we're raising here is to furnish the library. It'll
Yes.
be just an empty shell unless we can fill it. We're going to
Right.
need bookshelves, we're going to need tables and chairs and television screens and computers. What other things are we going to be furnishing here?
You know, when Margaret was mentioning the teen space, you know, there's going to be a lot of technology, and we'll have like some maker space in there, right? And you were mentioning 3D printers, things like
Yeah.
that. You know, it's going to be really exciting. Go ahead.
One
What
of
else?
the trends in libraries these days is that people like to create content rather than just consume it, like read a book or watch a movie. They want to create content, whether it's music, it's video, whatever. And again, we will have the equipment so that people can do that. Kids can do it, adults can do it, and we'll have the space to make all that happen.
Now, part of this process is preserving the Carnegie Building, and I'm wondering if there are any other little gems that we've stocked away that are going to be brought back here. I think there was a tortoise and a hare statue in the back. Are any of those little gems going to be preserved?
Yes, those were in the front of the
in the front.
building, and as people drove by West Main Street, our building on West Main Street, I'm not sure how many of them actually saw them. So we're bringing them around to the back of the library, to the courtyard area, and we're giving them a prominent place in our courtyard, which is a part of the Witherby Street view design. And they already are getting more attention. The city took them out of our lawn and carefully stored them so that they'd be safe for us. And we are going to give them places of honor in the new design.
Terrific. Now, the library is in sort of a temporary home right now
We
at the
are.
Walker Building, and we've been struggling through COVID, but we haven't shut down. What are some of the services that the library is still providing to Marlborough residents right now? You don't have to wait for the new building to be built. There are things you can take advantage of right now.
Sure. The Walker Building, first of all, is just a real blessing to have. It's lots and lots and lots of space, and if you haven't been there in a while, it's really a historic building in Marlborough. So it provided us an opportunity to take every single thing we wanted with us, so there's no need to pay for storing anything. Everything we have is with us. We have a core collection on the main floor, and we also have a lot of materials, the rest of our collection upstairs. So if people don't find what they want on the first floor, they can put a hold on it, and every day we run a list of what people have asked for, and we put things on hold and let people know it's ready. We have a few computers for people come in every day to use our computers, so we have some computers. We're doing a lot of virtual programming because of COVID. We're not doing any in-person programming
I
at this
saw
time.
a great craft program where you
Right.
could RSVP in advance to do a craft, pick it up, or would they mail it to you, and then you would do it online on Zoom along with them? How
Right.
cool is that?
Right, I know all the supplies go in a little paper bag, and people come and pick up their paper bag and register, so we know how many paper bags to make.
Right.
And then they all do the craft together, which is great sense of community in a time when we're all sort of craving community. It's a great way to do something together.
Nina, can you just one more time reiterate where people can go to make those donations?
Sure. I mean, the easiest way would be to call the Marlborough Public Library. You could speak to Margaret. She'd be happy to tell you. You could go on the city website, and then the library website. There's an icon for the foundation, which would also help you to find out how to donate. And we have a website, marlpublibfoundation.com, or an email. And you
It's
could.
an email at gmail.com.
It's a Gmail. I'm sorry.
Ryan
you
will
could
put that up.
I'll put it up.
Put it up, please
Yeah.
put it up. It's very long. So yes, and if you would like to join our committee and help us, that would be wonderful too.
Right. The committee? There's still seats to be filled, right?
Of course.
Yes.
We could use all the help we can get.
Could use a clerk.
That's right.
I like taking minutes, but
This one, right.
Well, if you're interested in being Bill's clerk or helping out in any other way,
Yeah.
the city library is going to be there for you, and we need you to be there for the library right now.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching WMCT-TV. I'm Ryan Malyar. Take care.